Okay, Jalen Ramsey is responding to Amon-Ra St. Brown. In case you missed it, I'll get right into it. Amon-Ra was on his podcast and he was recruiting Jalen Ramsey, saying, "Hey, if you can hear this, I'd love to have you in Detroit. I know you played with Goff. Let's go. Let's do this." And I love Jalen Ramsey's response. And as I get into this video, I'll explain why this Ramsey thing kind of keeps festering, and why I keep talking about it, because we are in desperate need of a corner. And you can get a top-notch corner. Yes, he's older. Maybe there's some character things. I don't know. Maybe the dude is still solid. Like, right? So Brad Holmes wouldn't do this if it gave up a ton. So it may work. It may not. He might need to be traded. He said he's not going to get released. So here's what he said. He said, "Much love to Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Tried my hardest to get y'all in the playoffs this year. I won't comment on my future, though. We shall see." And he really did, because that was a game we're watching, the Rams versus Seahawks, end of the year. He played great. That's like, I'm rooting for the Rams, legit rooting for the Rams. Baker Mayfield, though, is terrible. I didn't realize that. I knew he wasn't great, but oh my gosh, Baker Mayfield cost us, I mean, seriously, a chance to go to the playoffs. Because remember, at the end of that game, he has a wide open receiver, just lofts up there, gets intercepted. They go down field goal. When if he catches that, they're in field goal range and they win, and the Rams win, and the Lions end up winning. Whatever. Can't think about it. Can't talk about it. Breaks my heart. But what you have is Jalen Ramsey. I love it. I love his response. Had some fun with it. Tried my hardest to get you in the playoffs. He had a great game. Had a terrible call against him in that game as well. Remember the roughing or the unsportsmanlike late hit out of bounds when he just like ran into a guy. Whatever. Jalen Ramsey. I love it. He's the man. There he is. I like Jalen Ramsey, but I don't think it makes sense to trade for him. I don't want to do that because that's picks, and man, so let Brad Holmes go. Let Brad Holmes do his thing, man. I mean, you're getting an older guy. Yes, he's great, man. Jalen Ramsey is a really good player, but let's get some young dudes that are younger and be smart about what we want to do free agency. So why does this keep coming up? Well, because you look at our depth chart. Jerry Jacobs, solid corner. Jeff Okudah, solid. Not great. I like Jerry Jacobs a lot. He's a great, if he's one of our starting corners, no problem at all. Jeff Okudah, what is he? Is he up, down? You just don't know what he's going to be. I still think he can be good because last year was kind of his rookie year, if you will. So I think Jeff Okudah could still be good, but then after that, man, it drops right off. Will Harris, Oware is gone. Mike Hughes might be gone. I mean, these guys are free agents. Chase Lucas never really played last year. He's a 7th rounder. So then you look at the free agents that are going to be available. And I filtered this by snaps played last year. So these are dudes that are playing, straight up playing. You can filter by age. You can do, whatever, tackles. So if you go straight up by snaps, let's look at some of the guys. Patrick Peterson, old. We're not going to do that. Bradbury, older. Chandon Sullivan from Minnesota. Now there's a name. Okay, he's 26. Okay. Jameel Dean, I've seen him come up. I like him. Cameron Sutton, Eli Apple, no way. Marcus Peters, older. So Troy Hill, he's older too. I didn't realize. See, that's the thing with these free agents. They're older than you realize. They've got that name. So let's filter by tackles, guys that were most productive tackle-wise. Miles Bryant from New England. Jonathan Jones from New England. Troy Hill again comes up. Miles Bryant, though, 25 years old, 69 tackles, like that. Let's filter by interceptions. Patrick Peterson. Geez, Patrick Peterson played a lot, played well, a lot of interceptions. But at 33 years old, I don't think we're going to go that route. So you just kind of looking at these free agents, man, and all of a sudden, it's like we got to get better corners. We just have to. So do you go free agent route? Do you trade for Ramsey? Do you draft a guy? You can't fall into the sauce trap, meaning you're not going to draft a sauce, ever again, where he just comes in as a shutdown corner in his first year and he's the best corner in the last 10 years or whatever. Like, that's just going to be very hard to find. So Jerry Jacobs, Okudah's here. And then after that, because you could argue Okudah is now starting corner. So you have one starting corner that's going to come back on the roster. So that's why Jalen Ramsey just kind of keeps making sense. It's something new, it's fresh, it's different, whatever. It's kind of fun to talk about. It's kind of staying in the news. But the more important thing is what's in the news is that we need a corner, and I don't know the route that we're going to take because we've been mocked a million times with Gonzalez or Witherspoon. And again, I like those guys, but can they make an immediate impact? Because we keep talking about how there's a window all of a sudden open for the Detroit Lions. There's a window where the NFC is not super, super strong. The NFC North's not super, super strong. And we have a really good offense, really good. And it's going to be in year 2 of Ben Johnson's offense, year 2 in Ben Johnson's offense with Jared Goff. We got something here, right? If our defense can get better, we played better the last 10 games of the season, no question. It was great to see, but you still can look out there and say, man, corners, we need corners. We need some more depth at linebacker. We need interior linemen. We need safeties, all those things we really, really need. And if we can get those going this year, like this is year 3 of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, like let's do this. We have a little window here this year and next where the NFC and the NFC North is open. So let's take advantage of it while we can before Goff's contract comes up and just things start coming up. So that's why Jalen Ramsey keeps coming up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you would take Jalen Ramsey or not. Or do you take a free agent? Do you draft? Where do you go to try to get a corner? I think you absolutely draft one. We will. Free agency, I think, is the way to go. I am not a fan of trading for Jalen Ramsey just because older, unpredictable too. He just has a history of being a little more unpredictable. It's fine. I mean, you kind of almost need that with a really good player like him. Like you kind of expect it. But for me, let's let Brad Holmes go. Brad Holmes is the man. He can make things happen. We know that. You look at where we're drafting and what we're doing. If you type in NFL draft here at Tankathon, you look at the draft order, it's like, man, mock draft right here. It has us. Christian Gonzalez has now moved all the way up to our pick. Again, don't love it there just because that Sauce effect where you're not going to find a Sauce Gardner that high. So you look at here. Ooh, man, they've got us taking a tight end now. Don't like that either. Like Brian Branch. I would almost take Torrance with our 6th pick rather than a corner. If you don't know Osiris Torrance, he's a guy that interior lineman can play guard for us as we need a right guard. So we've got needs, right? So this is going to be interesting to see. Jalen Ramsey, though, news that kind of keeps staying out there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Jalen Ramsey, yes, no. I still say no. It's fun and kind of cool off-season thing. He's talking back to St. Brown, but at the end of the day, I think we can keep our picks and draft somebody. Let me know what you think. See you on the next one.